Hello everyone, welcome back to Money and Law with Nondumiso Ntshangase. For those of you who are new to the channel, a warm welcome to you. Please subscribe and also hit the notification bell so that you get notified when there is new content out. And please note that my videos don't constitute as financial or legal advice for that matter. If you do require financial or legal advice, ensure that you consult with a properly registered professional in any of those fields. So since the 29th of July, I've been having my phone buzzing with people asking me about the two-pot system. And I mean, I know I've taken my time to actually do this video, but yeah, I needed a break. This video is just essentially explaining the two-pot system. If you have not actually watched the video I initially did when the policy paper came out, please go and watch it because it sets out the background nicely so you understand why the government is doing what they're doing. But briefly, just to explain, government is saying South Africans don't save enough for retirement. Yes, we've now forced them to, preserve their benefit at retirement. I mean, for pension funds members, that has happened since to say when you get to retirement, you have to use 2/3 to purchase an annuity so you get a monthly income to provide for you when you are now no longer working. And with provident funds, that only happened last year to say at retirement you will have to preserve 2/3 of your retirement benefit, right? So they're saying, okay, fine, we force you to preserve at retirement, but now we also have to ensure that you have enough time to accumulate your retirement benefit throughout your employment period. Because what currently happens in the South African retirement system is that you are allowed to get your benefit when you change employment. So bayang dismiss emsebenzini, I'm allowed to take my pension, or or I resign, then I am still able to take my money. So they're saying, okay, we actually want Uguti, while you're still working, accumulate money and not have access to it. But we're not gonna say you won't have access to all of it. You will have access to 1/3 of it throughout the time. So whenever you want it, or when you change employment, but then the 2/3, you're going to have to preserve it until you retire. So you're not going to be able to have access to this. And they are saying this because, I mean, they've done research and they see, people, if you actually, even preserve 2/3 of your contributions, I mean, your growth to that and all of that, you end up having, a certain amount of money that might help you at retirement, as opposed to you taking money all the time while you're still working, and then at retirement you don't have anything at all. So that's essentially what they're doing, to say, okay, we're gonna allow you to access your retirement benefit short term on this 1/3, but then the 2/3 you have to keep it until you retire. It also helps with compound interest because this 2/3 is going to sit there for a very long time. Access. So that's, essentially what the two-pot system is all about, right? One of the things that I just want to mention before I even get to the nitty-gritties of it is that in the policy papers, on the video that I did, I said that you would be allowed immediate access to your money. So I think it was 25,000 rands minimum when the law becomes effective, but they've scrapped that. So in the bill that we have right now, so Ibili is born obviously from the policy paper. So the government is like, okay, we're thinking of doing this. And once they've consulted with the public and the public is like, okay, now we agree. Now they create a law. I mean, they create a law, but in a form of a bill, which is still a proposal of some sort. And then once the bill passes the parliamentary process and consultation and everything, then it becomes law. So at this point, we are at the bill stage. So the bill doesn't have the immediate access that we spoke about when it was still policy. So it means, Uguti, you won't have that lump sum that you thought you were going to have, right? But I mean, it can still change because this is not law yet. It's still a bill. The final version will only come on the 1st of March 2023, which is the date they are proposing this becomes effective, right? Okay, so what this actually essentially says is that from the 1st of March 2023, which is the effective date of this law, you contribute to a pension fund, a provident fund, a retirement annuity fund, or you are taking your money, transferring it to a preservation fund, whether a pension or provident preservation fund, this will apply to you, right? I'm going to use a provident fund as an example because that is where there's just like too many moving parts there, and it's better if you understand it from that point of view, right? So the law says, or the proposed law says that from the 1st of March 2023, you're going to have your retirement fund contributions split into two, right? So Unondumiso has been contributing to ABC Retirement Fund or Provident Fund or whatever the case may be from 2014. When 1 March hits, let's leave forget about the contributions I've been contributing since 2014, because that's going to be a different pot altogether, which I'm going to explain later. So from 1 March, Nondumiso, whatever contributions I'm making to a fund, they're going to be in two pots. The one pot is called the savings pot, which is going to take 1/3 of my contributions. And then the second pot is the retirement pot, which is going to have 2/3 of my monthly contributions. So an example is I contribute 1,000 rands to a retirement fund every month. When this amount comes on the 1st of March 2023, by 1,000 rand lami, they're going to take it and split it into 1/3, 2/3. So 333 odd is going to go to my savings pot, or 600 and I think it's 66, but I'm just gonna use that. Obviously we are rounding off to the nearest, and I'm not good with math, so let's not just get caught up in that. 666 is going to be in my retirement pot. Low 300s and the 333 that is in my savings pot for month one, I can accumulate, this amount, but I will be allowed to take the amount that is in the savings pot every 12 months, right? Every 12 months it accumulates, or you can actually leave it for months or years and take it, but you'll be allowed to take the amount that is in your savings pot. And then your retirement pot, 666 rand every month, the whole money accumulates, but you'll only be able to get it at retirement, unlike the current retirement fund system that we have. If you change employment, you'll be able to gain access to your money. No. Retirement fund pot, even if you leave employment, you get dismissed or you resign, you will not be able to gain access to your retirement pot. So that's very important to note. And then with the contributions that you've been making since the 1st of, maybe let's say since 2014, I've been contributing until the 1st of March when this thing becomes law. Those contributions that I've been making, they are in something called a vested pot. So this is essentially 3 pots, right? It's 3 pots because now we have a vested pot. So what they are saying about this vested pot is that, we know that you've been making plans with this money. You would say, that the law says you can take it if you resign or get dismissed. So we're not going to apply the new law to this money that you've been accumulating before the law became effective. So your vested pot stays as it is. The current law applies to your vested pot. If you resign, you can take money in your vested pot. If you get dismissed, you can take money in your vested pot. But going forward from the 1st of March 2023, your contributions going forward in the savings and retirement pot, you will only be able to access your savings pot whenever, right? So every 12 months. And the minimum that you can take from your savings pot is 2,000 rands. So if you have accumulated maybe about 1,000, you can't take it. You'll only be able to take it if it's over 2,000 rands. So, as I said, there's too many different things going on with this legislation. But another thing that is important to note is that if you were 55 and over on the 1st of March 2021, when you know that law 80, you have to, Provident Fund members will have to take 2/3 and preserve it at retirement. They said that law didn't apply to people who were 55 at that age. So this will not apply to them as well. So they will only have that vested pot and continue contributing to that vested pot, right? So, I mean, when new laws become effective, people are usually in a panic thinking, yo, so now it means, all this money I've accumulated all along, I'm now not going to have access to all of it when I resign or, get dismissed. And then they want to now make hasty decisions so that they can get access to this money. So you have to get that comfort to see your vested pot is going to have the money you've accumulated all along, and the law as it applies now will apply to that money. You will still gain access to that money. It's only from the 1st of March 2023 going forward that you'll be forced to actually annuitize or basically take 2/3 and use it for a pension later on in life. So another important aspect of this is the tax implications. So we know that when you're contributing to a retirement fund, you get a deduction up to 27.5% or 350,000 rands of your taxable income per annum, as a taxable or as a tax deduction rather. So that is still going to apply. But if you contribute more than the amount that you are allowed as a deduction, whatever amount you're contributing that is over that amount is going to be placed in the retirement pot. So what this means is that if you are contributing 400,000, a year, and obviously the deduction you get is 350,000. The 50,000 that is the difference, is going to go into your retirement pot. So it's not going to be split into the two different pots. That's another important thing to note. And how you get taxed from withdrawing from the savings pot is that it's not going to apply as it currently applies now. We'll see if you are withdrawing from your retirement fund, maybe you are resigning or you get dismissed, or you get taxed on the withdrawal tax tables, and then you get that 25,000 rands tax free. That's not going to apply to you taking this money from your savings pot. It's still going to apply to your vested rights, but not on your savings pot. On your savings pot, they're going to take this money that you are, let's say you're withdrawing 10,000 rands. They want to take this 10,000 rands and include it as part of your gross income, which means you're going to have to pay tax on it, not on the withdrawal tax tables, but on your marginal rate. So it's advisable, Uti, before you take money from your savings pot, ensure that you consult with your retirement fund specialist or with your financial planner, so that you don't make mistakes that are going to be detrimental to you in your old age. I mean, if you watch my videos, you will know that I always preach people not taking their monies from, their retirement funds. So, I hope this explains it. I haven't really gone into much detail because the video is going to be long. There's a lot of detail to the bill, but I'm planning on explaining the detail properly when we actually have this as law, because I'm going to explain something now, then it changes when it becomes a law, and then when you're still stuck on, what the bill said. So, I just wanted to explain briefly the important part of the bill, which is the vested right that you have, and then your savings pot, and then your retirement pot that you can only take when you actually get to retirement. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and have a great day. Thank you. Bye-bye.